All right, guys, and welcome back to Yo Spill. So after last night of dyno tuning this thing for a couple hours, I've gotten pretty confident on dialing in air fuels and dialing timing. So the other car that you've seen in the video, which is the nitrous neon, which is a Mega Squirt 2 car. Last night I had a good friend of mine, Steven, help me set everything up, just because that's the only part I'm not proficient at, is getting it all set up. And a Mega Squirt is a whole different animal. Honda is really easy. You just sign in, get to tuning, and it's not that hardcore as long as you have a decent base map, which shout out to Carlos Tuning. He gave me a good start. He kind of showed me the ropes. I've watched him for years tune Hondas, and it's not all that complicated once you understand how everything works. This car does have a few issues still. We don't have an exhaust. The distributor is set full advanced, and it's only giving us 16 degrees of initial timing. So when I set the car to run at 31-32 degrees of timing, it doesn't change anything. So if I set the timing all the way down to 28, it still makes the same power as it makes at 34, which leads me to believe a couple issues could be wrong, mainly the eBay distributor. We are also out of injector. In the last video you saw, we put a fuel pump in it. The injectors after 6,400 RPMs to about 8,100 RPMs are at 94 to 100% duty cycle. The stock 290cc OBD2 injectors do not want to make any more power, so I kind of stopped trying to force the motor to make power when it doesn't want to. We're going to get some injectors. We're going to get us, you know, everything else for this car. So I took the S300 out. We drove it down the road. It pulls good. Last night it was a little damp, so it did a burnout all the way through first and second, like it wasn't even trying. But today we're focusing on the Crane 16 12-to-1 neon. Like I said, a good friend Steven helped me set it up. He's the one that also tunes the Spirit, the Daytonas for us. He's the one that's helped us out with all of that MP tuned. If you guys don't know anything about that, it's just a Mopar Turbo Dodge tuning software. We do need to get back on this car. I'm just going to do a short little walk around of what we have right now, and if you guys haven't seen our used car lot, here's going to be your view. So Spirit RT made 400 something. EG Coupe, the LS car, made 113 horsepower or something like that. We'll be getting a GSR turbo setup. Integra, this is a 99 or 2000 GSR car with a sunroof delete. The last owner did a sunroof delete. This car has a full 950 cert cage in it, has a parachute mount, has everything it needs. We'll be going K turbo. Saturn, we still have our Saturns. I have kind of put off working on them because I'm undecided exactly what I'm going to do with mine. The black one will be turbo. This one will be supercharged. I just haven't figured out 100% if I want to spray it or just get a TVS or some type of bigger blower just to see what I can do. This is a Parts 300C. The Hemi is the only thing we really want out of it, and some wiring. This is for a later project. The motor is what we got for. The 63 Valiant, this thing will be SRT4 swapped. It will be 3-speed auto, trans brake, whole 9 yards, upcoming project. Black Saturn, sports package G, I think it's a G85 car, whatever. The car that comes with LSD, everything, yada, yada, yada. That's what this is for. The GTO, the one we broke at the track. I did the Tech Performance Clutch Master upgrade, everything. Still won't bleed out. It needs to, I need to pull the transmission, I need to put a slave in it and get that thing back on the road. The EG is my parts car. This is a clean car underneath, it has no rust, but this car used to be one of those sex spec show cars, so they deleted all of the side panels and everything like that, so it has a lot of Bondo on it, which I don't too much appreciate, but we're gonna keep it just because it's a clean shell, has brakes, has everything is there. I did steal the interior out of it for my car, but when I got it, it wasn't even together. It does have a blown up single cam in it. I don't know if I showed this in videos. There is a nice hole, a broken piston, whole 9 yards. Transmission's good, everything else is good. The Jeep, the 100 horsepower Jeep, and then on nitrous, we don't even know what it made on nitrous. We actually need to put the nitrous kit back on and dyno it just to see what it makes. The PT, it starts and runs when it wants to. It definitely has a blown head gasket or some leaky exhaust valves because it is super down on compression. And then over here we have our 3 other Neons and our Accord. Everyone's been asking about the Accord. It's up here in Pennsylvania, it's with me, it's not going anywhere. And then the DA still hasn't left the trailer since I got back up here. and the wiring harness and everything setting there, but we wanted to get these first two cars done and out of the way. So let's get right into some tuning action on Megasquirt 2 on a high comp single cam with a Crane 16. Don't expect anything crazy because, like I said, I'm just learning the basics of tuning. So oh, this car, I don't think I've showed this car since we got the motor in it. This is a, I believe, 99 Neon RT that we were doing a full SRT4 conversion on besides the transmission. So it already has the SRT4 cluster. We started putting the dash, seats, interior halfway together because we still have to do the wiring. It has some BBSs off of Volkswagen, and then it has, boom, an SRT4 swap. This car should be another fun car, you know, to have around. We don't know exactly what our plans are with it yet, but at least it's a fun car to drive. Parts car, another parts car up there, and then the other cars that we have. So let's get right into the dyno footage and hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, so on a GSR or an H22, these are your IAB plates. These basically are vacuum operated, and under wide open throttle they open to allow all 8 intake ports to open up and flow. A lot of high horsepower H22 guys delete these plates. They cut this open and port it. If you ever wondered what the 2.2 racing basically stage 1 or 2 is literally this whole piece cut open and ported out so that you make this have as much volume as possible. More volume, high compression motors, you need more air. So you get more air in the motor, of course you can make more power. We have a electronic nitrous controller, window switch activating this, and on the dyno we basically flipped it, seen if it was working, put it on open or closed, changed the RPM and everything, and it wasn't affecting anything. So what I'm doing right now is I pulled out the actual rod, the motor's right here. I just put RTV on it just so it doesn't have a vacuum leak, and then I pulled out all the blades. You have to take these off of here to get them out, of course, and then cleaned out the intake manifold because it had oil and everything in it. And then we're gonna stick it all back together, stick it back on the car, do a pull, see if we make any more power, and then I'll probably have to retune most of the tune because now it's gonna have a lot more airflow than it had before. But I need to learn anyways, so it's just a good learning experience for me. And yeah, we'll be back to tuning in a minute.
And we might put these butterflies in later, again. A brand new setup for if we want to try to use them again. There we go, boys. There we go. Boys, 125. That's what we should be seeing. And if we had those butterflies turned off before like 4,500, we'd have a lot more torque down low.
Alright guys, so I just got done tuning the thing on pump gas. I think our best number was like 146 horsepower with the air fuels right around 11.5, 12.0. The motor is 12-to-1 and it does have a decent sized Crane 16 cam in it. We also got rid of the butterflies as I showed you guys earlier in the video. So now we're going to switch over to the gas that we've planned on running this car on from the start, which is E85r. Because sooner or later, we've been waiting on our nitrous kit for almost 4 months now. This car will have a 2-stage nitrous kit on it. That's why we put a piston and rod motor in it in the first place. We didn't do that just for fun. We did it because we plan on spraying a lot of nitrous through this motor sooner or later if our nitrous kit ever gets here. But now I'm gonna get in there, adjust for the bigger injectors, do some tuning on E85r, and hopefully we can crack 155, 160 wheel maybe, because I should be able to run a lot more timing. If you noticed in some of the pulls, I don't even know what my brother recorded, but it has a little bit of spark knock because of pump gas and high compression. So this should solve that. If not, I'll have to find a workaround on it, but let's get into some E85r tuning.
Alright guys, so we did get the injectors in. We had a little bit of problem with them leaking at first, but that was because of the fuel rail, so we swapped out to a different fuel rail, and we are Gucci. Just setting up the base map right now with the bigger injectors, and they're going good.
We just didn't want to idle at 1,000 with these injectors.
Looking better.
That's all that mattered. They didn't like 1,000 RPMs. Set the Megasport up so it doesn't fall. Set it up so this cable doesn't get pulled. Nope, up.
Oh.
Yeah, like that. Base pull.
Oh, she's a beast, boys. 170. Alright guys, so we just adjusted the cam here. 30 degrees retarded, and we're going to retry some more dyno pulls with the cam retarded. We think we got our breakup issue worked out. We'll see right now. no breakup.
All right, guys, so it's now 11 o'clock at night and the car is off the dyno. We are done. I just wanted to give you guys a quick little outro and basically show you the difference between pump gas high compression and E85r high compression with some injectors, so that we were running out of fuel. Here it is. So the best all motor pull for the pump gas was 148 and 125, which is pretty respectable. Of course, down here I have the pump gas tune a lot richer than the E tune because it is only 93 octane, whereas E85R is equivalent to 107, 108 octane. But you can see right here the big difference, and these are both with me tuning on the same day. The big difference is down here around 4,000 RPM. So if you look at, let's see, right here, you go from 104 horsepower to 127 horsepower. That is astronomical. Like, you're gonna feel 24 horsepower, you know, in the seat of your pants. Now up here at the top where it starts running away, you're talking about 147 to 162 and, you know, 112 torque to 122. So, you know, 10 wheel torque and, you know, 15 horsepower. But, you know, that's just awesome. So I've never really seen somebody do a back-to-back comparison of pump gas and just E85R, you know, without changing too much. You got to remember that this Neon motor is literally just 12-to-1 off-the-shelf pistons and a Crane 16. The head is ported by me, but it's literally just cleaned up. I didn't actually open up the ports at all. So that's pretty respectable. I was talking to a few tuners and they told me I could lean it out even more on E85R. I can get it into the, you know, into the 13 air fuel ratios. I tried it. It didn't really make any more power. So to be safe, I went back to this tune, which is high 12s all the way across the board. And then down here on the hit, it's low 12s. It keeps it safe. Like I said, this car we did delete the IAB plate or the butterflies and the intake manifold, and it gained 10 wheel off the bat. So it's not bad. From our first dyno pull of 137 this morning when I first started tuning this, to our final dyno pull of 162 with 132 torque. So you can see right here, your green pull was the first pull this morning when the car was nosing over. It still had the butterfly in the way of the intake manifold, so you only had the 4 open ports, and you could see the torque was horrible. Up here at Redline, or at 7,200 where I quit revving it, you were only making 90 foot-pounds of torque, and we are now, you know, making 120. So that's literally 30 wheel torque we gained. And then off the base tune, we were at 122 horsepower up here at Redline, and we are now at 162 horsepower. So that is 40 wheel horsepower at 7,000 RPMs. So I'm still learning tuning. I am nowhere or never going to say I am good or the best at it. I've, of course, learned Mega Squirt, and then I learned Honda yesterday. I have 2 people I want to give a huge shout out to. Carlos Tuning for always helping me with the Honda stuff, and then Steven for always helping me with the Mega Squirt stuff on getting it set up, getting the proper timing, getting everything done right. We did all that off camera because it takes forever to get the ECU set up properly and get all the base timing and everything set, especially when you've never done it before. So now that I have experience with it, it shouldn't be too bad. But that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm pretty sure I didn't do an outro for the last video. I might make this into all one video of me learning how to tune. My first experience, I don't really know yet, but hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, you guys are the greatest, and if you guys haven't subscribed to YoSpilt, drop down to the bottom, hit the little subscription button, give this video a thumbs up, and then you guys have a great day.